The TV show as a whole was not what I was expecting. How you have two stories running in parallel with one another, but also with keeping to that nostalgia, was a flavour of something fresh and new. So is Wonder Man worth the watch? Welcome back to Binge Watcher Hub. On today's episode, we'll be talking about the Disney Plus TV show, Wonder Man. Before I watched the show, I had a lot of people telling me how good it was, but the way they were describing it to me had me a little bit worried, because it's totally not what I would associate a superhero film or TV show to be like. So is Wonder Man worth the watch? Let's talk about it. This show follows Simon Williams, a struggling actor in the MCU, who accidentally ends up with superpowers and is trying to make it in Hollywood at the same time. It's very much a commentary on the entertainment industry, but inside the Marvel world. So you've got superheroes, but also auditions, bad agents, and movie sets. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II plays Simon, and honestly, he really carries the whole thing. Ben Kingsley pops back up as Trevor Slattery, and if you know, you know. That alone tells you the tone they're going for. And the supporting cast mostly plays into the Hollywood side of things. Agents, filmmakers, industry types, which adds to the vibe. The core conflict is Simon trying to figure out who he actually wants to be. Does he want to be respected as an actor? Or does he lean into the fact that he's now got real deal powers in a world that already has Avengers? And the industry around him doesn't exactly make that easier. It's very character driven. It's not big, explosive MCU energy every episode. It's more self-aware, kind of provoking at a superhero culture and Hollywood at the same time. It feels lighter, but there's still that identity crisis running underneath it. The resolution focuses more on Simon choosing who he is rather than a massive final battle. It's more personal than epic. If you're expecting endgame level payoff, that's not this. But if you're into character first Marvel Studios, it works. The TV show as a whole was not what I was expecting. Everything that I'd built up in my head for this TV show to be, which was leaning way more towards the worrying side of things, actually turned out to be completely wrong. This TV show is brilliant. There were so many aspects to it that just reminded me of how hooked and locked in I was to the show without even realizing it. The story is a fresh angled take on the stereotypical superhero content that our minds would automatically think of. I say that it was totally not what I was expecting, not just for what the show is, but how you have two stories running in parallel with one another. The first one being the filming of Wonder Man in Hollywood, and the second being a superhero story itself. The short scene performances or monologues are really enjoyable. 9 times out of 10, they'd be annoying you, as it might interrupt the flow of the content, but actually it really draws you in, acting as a reminder of how the show psychologically grips you with how invested you are, only then to provide you with a subtle release and make you feel more appreciative. The actors do a lot of justice to the characters, making the character experience feel all that more gripping, balancing really well to complement the story experience. The character Wonder Man is introduced in a typical superhero way, by starting with the chips being down, but interestingly giving us a different view of where we start engaging with the character, in that he's an overthinker, but with good cause and intentions. Trevor is a brilliant character thread from the previous Iron Man films as the Mandarin. Trevor brings out the best of Simon, who's trying to portray and secure his spot as Wonder Man, with a hidden teaching of not overthinking everything. Instead, to get out of your head and focus on the present and being in the moment. He knows how to guide Simon, ultimately setting him up to giving a breathtaking performance for his Wonder Man audition. I have to call out Janelle Jackson, who's the agent for Simon. She gives a brilliant performance in the show, providing us with a real stereotypical actor's agent. Joe Pantoliano's reference to The Matrix is a wildly cool inclusion, and one that I hugely appreciated. He also provides that injection of humour with his inclusion of his character. The viewing experience provides a balance of nostalgia with a new flavour injected into the show, which plays to many different aspects that happen throughout this TV show. I really enjoyed the nostalgia around the visual props, such as the Mandalore's glasses from the previous Iron Man films, but also with keeping to that nostalgia was a flavour of something fresh and new, like with Wonder Man's eye colour being purple. It reminded me of Black Panther, but it also had a subtle hint of red to give that new injection into it. The cinematography was really cool as well because they used different heights as well as close-ups and faraway shots, as we've typically seen before with superhero films and TV shows, and we cannot get away from mentioning an entire episode in this show that was given to us in black and white picture to make reference to a dedicated flashback in time. I really enjoyed that you got to hear the theme song for Wonder Man, but not in the normal way that we'd be introduced to it. Instead, it was introduced as part of a sequence in parallel to the first track, which was the auditioning that was going on for the filming of Wonder Man itself, acting as if we were getting a sneak peek into that film production. So, is Wonder Man worth the watch? I'm going to say absolutely yes. Without watching this, I'd already built up judgment in my mind towards the TV show, really feeling like I wasn't going to enjoy this, but it was the complete opposite. I loved it. If you're looking for the next good superhero piece of content, I would definitely check out this one. You do need to pay attention to this TV show. It's not one that you can just have in the background, but it isn't an aggressive episode by episode watch, so you can follow things quite easily. I give season 1 of Wonder Man a 5 out of 5 buckets. Now it's your turn. If you've watched season 1 of Wonder Man, what did you think? Did it live up to your expectations or did it miss the mark? And if you haven't watched it yet, is it something that you've got on your watch list? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more reviews and reactions right here on Binge Watcher Hub. Until next time, happy binge watching.